Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're talking Starfield. And today's topic of the day comes from our friends over in the Reddit community. And I've seen this pop up a few times, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of address it. So, topic of the day, joining the Crimson Fleet makes the game boring. Hi folks, I joined the Crimson Fleet because I need to proceed with the infiltrate mission. However, the game has become too boring. I enter invaded stations without any danger. I navigate between systems with few possible battles. What should I do? Do you recommend finishing any missions from it? I just don't care about this faction anymore. It's a great question, and I get this a lot in the community, that the Crimson Fleet is very interesting in theory, because the Crimson Fleet is a pirate faction. You get to join the pirates, and you're thinking you get to do a bunch of looting and shooting and stealing and plundering. And people get in and they join the faction, and they quickly realize that doing any of those activities causes a huge bounty on you, which locks you out of other potential missions, quests, shops. If I go and do a crime in the Freestar Collective territory, then suddenly, I can't get over to Cheyenne. I can't get to Aquila City. I can't visit any of those shops. Same narrative with the United Colonies and whatnot. Beyond that, when you go to visit POIs, a lot of them are occupied by the Crimson Fleet. And instead of being able to get into these random encounter battles, which are really fun, and you can shoot and loot and have a good time when you're landing in random locations, you just got a bunch of pirates sitting around that are like, hey, dude, welcome to the fleet. We love you now. We don't want to fight. So I get the criticism on this, and I had the same experience for the first time I went through the game. I played every faction when I went through the game originally. I think the Crimson was the last one I played. And I ended up going through the Unity and resetting and rethinking my life. I'm in Starfield at least. So here's my general take on it, guys. If you're going to do a Crimson Fleet playthrough, I think first and foremost, I would commit a specific instance, meaning you go through the Unity, you play the Crimson Fleet, and then they go through the Unity again. Or I would suggest just a new game. Just create a new game, guys. Create a new game and make a pirate character and just go full-blown commit on the pirate character. And you can do this through just playing vanilla, or I would actually recommend doing it through mods. I think mods is the best way to do it. You can do an alternate start where you just start on the key and have all the Crimson Fleet missions available to you and ready to go. Or you can just start a new game and go get in a little bit of trouble, and it'll kick off the Crimson Fleet quest line for you. SysDev will seek you out, and you can either choose to go with them, and then you can choose from there to be a pirate. Or if you tell them to F off, if you don't like SysDev like me, then the pirates will actually still recruit you anyway, and you can still go the pirate quest line. They'll actually be impressed that you told SysDev to F off, and then you can queue that up, and you still get to go through the quest line. And by the way, I would actually argue that the Crimson Fleet faction quest line is one of the best in game. So I know people complain the pirates could be a little darker and stuff. Let's face it, guys. I mean, this is the community's take in general on Starfield and things, is it's just not dark enough. It's just not gory enough. I don't get to see enough nudity and sex and things like that in the game. Guys, there's plenty of other places on your computer that you can find those kind of things. And candidly, if you're really into dark games like that, Cyberpunk's a great game for that. Very mature. I would also say that Baldur's Gate 3 extremely mature. So if you're really into it, guys, if you really want games that give you a lot more gore and other things like that, try that. Candidly, Starfield, it's not what it's about, right? It's not what it's about. It's about having this experience in space. There's plenty of mods to play with if you're trying to get a more adult themed out of the game. So I'm gonna stay I'm gonna stay on the Crimson Fleet here though. So start a new game and play as a pirate. And we'll get into the comment sections here in a minute, but in a nutshell, play as a pirate. You are a pirate. There's nothing wrong with a bounty as a pirate. You're supposed to have a bounty. So go out there, loot, steal ships, Where do you sell ships? Where do you sell things? There's a space station in the Wolf system called the Den. There is the Key itself, and there is also the Red Mile. You can go to any of those places, and you have shops where you can sell things and trade things. You can also trade still with various ships that are out in space. And if you're not doing that, it's another great way to stay out in space longer and just trade with the ships floating around in space. And then you can also steal from them because you're a pirate. Now let's talk about this further, guys. In the true nature of being a pirate, in my playthroughs, when I go to another POI that has other pirates, I take them out. I fight them. I don't care. You know why? And then what I do is I turn on Shades Immersive Looting, which I'll put on the screen. It's a great mod. That allows you to loot the space suits, the clothes, everything else off of the bodies like you could with Fallout 4 and Skyrim. I love that mod, by the way. I wish they wouldn't have taken that out of the vanilla game, but I just put it back in. And you can sell those to pay for the bounty you'll rack up with the Crimson Fleet. So get the self-clearing bounty service kiosk in your ship, and then you can go take out as many pirates as you want still, because pirates be pirates, man. I'm not actually in my playthrough, I'm not actually trying to be allegiant to Crimson Fleet either. I'm just pirated, man. So I'm stealing from pirates. I'm stealing from anybody I can get from. So, but the self-clearing bounty service is really useful because you can essentially take out as many pirates as you want, and then you can sell their space suits, and that will easily pay for the bounty for each one you take out. Also, enjoy the bounty element of it. Enjoy being wanted throughout the universe and chased and getting in constant battles and having to warp out. It's part of the fun of being a bad guy. Here's another suggestion, though, if you want some kind of happy medium. I'm going to throw this one up there, too. It's on Creations. I believe it's called Better Crime Gameplay, and when I throw up the graphic, if that doesn't align with what I just said, just take the graphics word for it. This actually allows you to have smugglers routes, so you can actually sneak contraband into places where you're wanted. You're also able to make fake passports and IDs, so that way even if you have a high bounty level, you could still make it into New Atlantis and do things in New Atlantis that you would typically do. This is kind of your happy medium if you want to be a incognito pirate, not the most wanted one in the galaxy. And another thing about it is it actually has your wanted level degrade over time on its own. So if you stay hidden, you stay out there long enough, your bounty actually goes down on some. But this, like I said, gives you that ability to play kind of that happy medium of still being able to have the whole game unlocked while also getting to live a pirate's life. So those are my quick take on it. You're just not having enough fun with it because you're doing it wrong. Get some mods involved if you need to, but even vanilla, just embrace your inner Crimson Fleet pirate and have fun with it. And make a game that's just about that. One commenter said, finish the infiltration missions on SysDev's side, then Crimson Fleet will be hostile again. That's true. Yep. So I do think the OP originally said that he was kind of frustrated because he felt that while working for SysDev undercover as a pirate, in this particular case, he was kind of annoyed with the fact that now the pirates liked him and he couldn't get in fight with random pirates on POIs, which I mentioned earlier. So same thing, whether you full commit to the Crimson Fleet or you're doing the system dev missions, same thing. Another commenter said, if you're a pirate, do some piracy. Hail trader ships, demand their cargo. If they refuse, open fire. You are a threat now. And that was followed up by somebody saying, strangely enough, this is how the playthrough started. So this is exactly right. If you do some bad things, this is what's going to trigger those quests in the first place. Another commenter said, one of my characters is Crimson Fleet. Sometimes I choose missions to eliminate Crimson Fleet targets. Now I have to do that via stealth or get a huge bounty. Pretty fun. Totally agree. Yeah, and that's another approach, right? You can still... You're a backstabbing pirate, right? So you can still go and you can do whatever you want to the Crimson Fleet, just like you could before. If you roll a bounty, they'll be coming after you anyway, just like you did before. But if you don't roll a bounty with the Crimson Fleet, you can just initiate fights in stealth, or you can initiate fights, like I said, and just sell their gear and clear your bounty. But there's no reason to stop taking them out. Another commenter said, the only way to really enjoy the Crimson Fleet is to ruin your save by getting massive bounty in both United Colonies and Freestar Collective space. Then you really feel like an outlaw. Or do what I did and think of yourself as a privateer on one side. I only raid in United Colony space, then I sell my loot in Freestar Collective space where I have no bounty. Yeah, no, that's fun too. That's another point. You can always choose where you do the crime. You could be like, I'm going to do all my crime in this area, lock out these spaces, and keep this spot clean to keep more of the game unlocked for yourself. But like I said, I'm going to say it again, if you're using creations, like just go grab that better crime gameplay. Like that kind of solves all of this. It could be bad anywhere you want. You're not locked out of anything major. And there's even kind of a cool little lore behind it if you're using passports and smuggling routes and things like that. Somebody else said, just make the jump and start over. It's the only way to keep the game interesting. Well, a couple of things there. He's talking about going through the Unity, which is a new game plus feature. That is one way, if you really regret the decisions you made as a pirate, you just jump through the Unity. So you can do that in your main too. Like, I mean, my main's new game plus 9 at this point. But this isn't actual factual at all in the fact that, like, he totally could side with SysDev and that would kind of reset everything. Or join any other faction and that would reset everything. There's options. You're not really locked in. Bethesda made this whole game pretty open in that sense, and people complain that you can choose multiple factions, but here's a great example of why you can choose multiple factions. Like, you make a mistake, you choose the Crimson Fleet, you decide you don't like working with the Crimson Fleet, you can decide you want to work with somebody else instead. One commenter said, I just did a straight up villain run. Don't run with any Constellation members. My crew is Matthias, Ezekiel, some guy I can't pronounce, and a couple other baddies that had a great time. I just murked every UC ship that I came into contact with. Yep, nope, that's the key, brother. That's the key. Just absolutely engulf yourself in the spirit of the playthrough you're in. Roleplay what you're doing and appreciate it for what it is. And like I said, if it's not your cup of jelly, just do something else. Don't be on the Crimson Fleet. No big deal. You want to be a good guy, go join the Freestar Collective. Another commenter said, I'm full-on pirate and it could be huge fun. I run Crimson Fleet missions and roam the skyways looking for lone ships to plunder, especially the Gal Bank ships. Stealing ships and modifying them is a lot easier when you're both a pirate and raking in loads of credits. Yeah, there's more here, but I totally agree. It could be super fun, guys. You just have to full commit. And with that, I think that's a good place to leave it. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you've subscribed to my channel lately, it's super awesome. Really appreciate the support. Really hope you enjoyed this new video. I try to be positive about Starfield. I love Starfield. It's one of my favorite games ever, honestly. And anything I can do to like make the community enjoy it more or make new players enjoy it more, I'm all about it. So thanks again if you made it this far, for listening to me talk this long. Really, really stoked that you guys are enjoying the comment. Really love the comments. Would love to hear what you guys think about this. Thanks, and have a great day.